This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for downloading. Most importantly, thanks for listening. This is Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. It's all powered by Bowen Wealth. You can get more when you visit bowenwealth.com, and you can find that and all the information in the show notes. My name is Mark Owens. Now, let's get to the show. Brandon, this time of the year, I don't want to be a Grinch. I don't want to bring the festive mood down.
Okay, but there's a big but coming.
But there's a huge, yes, there is a but. Or, you know what? I'm going to soften it. However.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
However, we need to talk about Social Security. A lot of conversations about Social Security. Because, Brandon, you've said it before. To get max benefits from your Social Security, you should take it about the age of 70. But, Brandon, most Americans claim them earlier. So let's talk about it. What's the impact on benefits for Social Security if you begin taking them at the age of 62 or 67 or even 70 years old? Are there good reasons to start taking Social Security benefits a little bit early?
Yes, 100%. And, people think they make the statement like you just did of that it's a bigger benefit if they wait, right? Yes, that is a true statement. It is a bigger benefit the longer that you wait. But I always have to explain to people, you've got to think about the cumulative earnings. How much money can we make over the rest of our life? And longevity, we've got to factor longevity in to this equation. So, for example, I've got some clients. I had some clients, started off husband and wife. They came in. He was 71 years old. He worked for Saks Fifth Avenue in New York. Oh, nice. I'm talking like the best dressed person that ever came in. Like always, he would come in. I was like, John, I was like, oh my gosh, you look so...
Would you send a memo out like, hey, everybody, John's coming in on Wednesday. Everybody tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, like I never wear a tie. And I felt like I had to get the tie and pocket square. No, so he would come in. He just loved to dress up because he worked at Saks. Sure. And he came in and we were going through everything, him and his wife. And we were going through his benefits and he had a really big Social Security benefit. And I was like, whoa. Almost $4,000 a month. That's like, geez, he goes, and he was really proud of it. He goes, yeah, I waited till 70 before I started my benefit. I was like, okay, well, I don't usually recommend that, but it's water under the bridge. You're 71. And so we went through and they became clients, put the plan together, but then he passes away like within months. Okay. I didn't know it at the time. He had lung cancer and things. And so, he waited till 70, got this massive benefit and then passed away. Now, granted, yes, his wife is still alive and getting benefiting from that, from a higher paycheck. So we've got to factor in longevity because there could be a situation where, if you're not married or something or, I want you to get as much money from the government as you can. Okay. As much cumulative money.
Right.
So that's what we've got to think about and focus in on. The problem that if you were to go down to the Social Security office is they are not licensed to give you financial advice.
Right.
Okay. Or the problem is they do give you advice. They tell you what to do. And I'm like, okay, you're going to believe them.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. They tell you, like, I've heard so many stories that are incorrect.
But for them, it's probably just muscle memory advice.
Yes. Yeah. Muscle memory. And so, it's crazy. So we have to, everyone listening here, whether you've got millions saved or, 250,000 saved or anywhere in between, right? Social Security is complex. Okay. And we need to talk through what you're thinking for Social Security. Like, I just want to hear your thoughts, hear what you're planning to do. It could be right on perfect. It could be, no changes needed, but you could be, for example, I could tell you so many stories, Mark, where I had some people, they had saved, over $3 million. He had this huge benefit and they had filed for her benefit and was getting like $100. And I was like, I could tell that they did not know about the spousal benefit. So it's just additional benefits that you just might not know of. Okay. So I want to just talk through this. But as you were asking, Mark, those big ages, there's a few kind of like major exit points here.
Yep. You hear the same ages a lot in conversations about Social Security.
Yes.
Here's a specific age. Here's a milestone age. Here's another one.
Yeah. So I like to say exits. You got different exits coming up. The first exit that you might want to take is 62. Okay. At age 62, that is the first age that you can start receiving your benefits there, unless disability or whatever, but set that aside. But, so you're based on your own earnings. You could start your benefits early, which would be 62. Now, if you did start them at 62, there is a permanent reduction to your benefit. Okay. So it could be down, about 30% from what your full benefit would be, but you get to go ahead and start running the race, if you will. Okay, so think of like the tortoise and the hare here, so this person, this version of you, a 62-year-old version of yourself, can go ahead and start getting a lower benefit, but you get to start getting some income. There are some gotchas and several rules that we have to think through. Mainly, the biggest one is the earnings test.
Okay.
We got to make sure that we're not going to continue working and making more than the earnings test will allow, because if you go over that, they start withholding $1 out of every $2. How does that sound?
Brendan, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The earnings test. Can you define that for me a little bit more?
Yes. So there is a certain amount of money. Now, it goes up every year. Okay. It goes up every year. So I don't know when people are going to be listening to this podcast of, what year or whatever, but let's just say around like $22,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. So plus or minus there. So if you make more than that, then they start withholding. So if you did want to, say, take your benefit at 62, but then go work at Walmart or a golf course or Home Depot or whatever, part-time, have at it. That, you're probably not going to make more than $20-something thousand. So you can start making some little part-time cash, some things, a little walking around money, as one of my clients calls it.
Right.
So you can do that. We just want to make sure that we're not going to still work full-time, or even part-time, but make really good income here. Okay. So that's the earnings test. And it applies for every year until you turn full retirement age. And then it goes up a little bit, but then it goes away, which brings me to the next exit point that I hear a lot of times from people that we talk about is age 65. Okay, Mark, do you know what happens at 65? A quiz here.
It's a milestone age, 65. That's when a lot of people have that age circled to retire.
There is a benefit that you can start receiving, not a Social Security benefit.
Is it Medicare or Medicaid?
It is. Yep. Medicare. Yeah. So
why was that so stressful?
I know.
It's the holidays.
Quit looking at me. Quit looking.
I didn't have my hand raised, teacher.
Okay. So you passed though. You did good. So Medicare you can start that. If you're going to retire at 62, you got to figure out health care. Mm-hmm. If you're going to walk away from your employer, because at 65, that is when Medicare now is available for you. Okay. But there is still a slight reduction on your Social Security benefits. Okay. So again, that's maybe your second exit. Then the next major exit we get to is age 67. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is your PIA, primary insurance amount, or your FRA, full retirement amount, all these acronyms. And this is when that earnings test that I mentioned earlier, this is when it goes away. Okay. Is that full retirement age. All right. And there is no reduction to your benefits at this point, because this is your full retirement age. And so this is where you can start your benefit. You could keep working if you wanted to, making millions of dollars a year, and there's no reduction on your benefit. So that's at age 67. I will say, call a timeout. This is where I usually don't recommend people wait anything past 67. Okay.
Why is that?
Even if you keep working, just because, we never know how long we're going to live, right? You could be in great health. And I'm a big proponent of, hey, let's just go ahead and flip that switch on from Social Security. Let this money start coming in. If you want to keep working, that's fine. If you're so adamant about, no, I want to let it continue to build, then I'm not going to argue,
Yeah.
That's fine. But I just, for my clients, I like to go ahead and start this benefit as soon as it makes sense for people. So let me finish these exits analogy. So then the last exit, before the road ends here, is age 70. Okay. Age 70, that is your absolute maximum benefit, the most you can get, because your benefit increases by about 8% per year right there. So that's an extra 24% that you're going to have on top of your full benefit. And so now you've got this huge benefit, but you're 70. Now here's a concept for people is there is an age in which all of these dates that we've talked about, when they all converge, whether you started it at 62 at a lower amount, see that version of you is way ahead for a long time. And then think of the version of you when you're 70, you get to finally start the race with a massive benefit, but you're way behind. But you will eventually catch up to the version of you that started it at 62, and that age is right around age 80. Just so happens that is our life expectancy. Men, we're like 79, right? They don't think we're making good decisions, I guess, with our life, and we don't live as long.
Yeah.
So
it's a statistic that most women outlive. Is that?
Yeah.
True?
So right about 79 to 80 for men, and then 80, 81 for women, kind of thing. But that's where all of these things converge here. Okay. So we just need to think through and talk through, okay, how's your health right now? How are you doing health-wise? Your siblings, is longevity, your parents, how long did they live, right? So, if you're taking care of yourself and you're doing good and you're exercising and fit and knock on wood, we think we might make it past 80, then yes, we might want to wait and defer this benefit a little bit longer. But let me just throw out a few extra benefits of kind of starting this thing early. So some of the benefits of starting this early, I like to say is, what if you could take this benefit and pay off any remaining debt that you have? Might could throw it on some extra debt if you had some consumer debt there. It's income that you can have there for retirement. So it helps you not pull on your life savings. If you can have $2,000, $3,000 coming from the government, well, then we're not pulling it from your 401k and other savings that will be passed on to kids and grandkids, okay? Your Social Security benefit, once both of you have passed, the game's over. Nothing is getting passed on to the kids, okay? So this helps us defer or maybe save on, not pulling from our own personal savings. Here's one thing that a lot of people don't think about is, maybe if you don't need to pay off any debt, but you start pulling this income, what if you turn around and invest it and make 3 to 5% on this Social Security benefit? You know how I said it converges at age 80? Well, if you were to factor then a 3 to 5% rate of return on a benefit that started at age 62, I don't know if waiting will ever catch up.
Right.
So now you start throwing some math on this thing, and even if you took on some risk and got market-like returns on this thing. So, and maybe my last thought would be that I know with all of my clients, with so many scenarios that I've sat down with, is that retirement is basically two halves. Once you start retirement, for maybe the first 10 years or so, it's that postcard. You are doing the trips, you're traveling, you're doing the things that you've put off.
Yeah.
Your whole life. You're spending money. You are doing things. And then, then from the second 10 years or 15 years at age 80, 75 or 80 to maybe 85 or 90, it gets cut way back. Mm-hmm. You don't feel like traveling so much. And maybe the kids and grandkids are coming to your house. And then, my oldest clients, all they're doing is trying to give away their money.
Right.
Yeah. They're just trying to they got so much coming in. It's like they can't even, they're just wanting, hey, Brandon, how do we, I want to work on our legacy and things like that. So
a lot of people are in their car right now saying, are they looking to adopt? If they want another couple of grandkids,
right.
I'm more than happy to.
Yeah. So, I know that more income early on could be more beneficial for you.
Sure. So you can take advantage of it before we hit those no-go years.
That's right. Yes. And so, bottom line is Social Security, it plays an integral role in your income plan in retirement. It's not some separate benefit that, it should work with all of your other retirement savings, your plan that you've put together. And that's what I want to provide for you. That's what we do for our clients. It's a Social Security and income maximization report, kind of a mouthful, but it's your income plan. And we factor that in. Okay, what are maybe the top 2 most logical filing strategies, right? You've got to understand all the, spousal benefit, divorced benefit, widow's benefit, all these things. I will help you uncover every benefit that you're entitled to, and we'll develop that strategy of when are we going to go file, and then how are we going to supplement with your own life savings, okay? Because income is the most important part of your retirement plan.
Amen.
We think growth because you've been thinking, I got to grow this money for the past 40 years. But when you go to retire, to pursue growth, you got to pursue risk.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is not our friend, especially with where markets are right now. Right. So we've got to develop our income plan. Let's make all of this money. Let's really design something that is consistent, boring, steady, where you can travel, you have no stress or very low stress because you've got so much income coming in.
Boring income is not a bad thing.
I know, boring income. That's it.
How do we reach out to you and the team at Bowen?
Yeah. So pick up your phone right now. Just grab your phone and you can give us a call or a text. Our number is 843-890-2400. Again, that's 843-890-2400. Shoot us a text, maybe just say social SS. Yep. There you go. SS. Or pick up the phone. Tanya is standing by right now. She's very nice. She's going to talk to you, just see if maybe you have a few minutes here, get some info. We'll get you on the calendar. But you've been putting it off long enough. You deserve this income plan so you can go back to your family and say, honey, the plan is done.
Yes, sir.
I've got it figured out. The puzzle pieces are in place. Look how good it is. Look at this, right? You've designed your income plan. You've put this work together, and this is what I love to do. And I can't wait to get started on your plan right now.
843-890-2400. Again, 843-890-2400. Tanya's standing by right. By the way, she's become a little bit of a celebrity. I've heard that some people have called during the show just to say, hey, is this Tanya? She's like, hey, well, I just want to see if it's really you. It is you. What's going on? They have a good conversation. So give her a call. You can shoot her a text right now. She's standing by to talk to you, to have a deeper conversation about get you on the calendar, to sit down with Brandon and the team at Bowen Wealth about the importance of Social Security. And I love that you talked about those milestone exits, if you will, when talking about your Social Security benefits. Hey, real quick, before we move on, the gentleman you were talking about, John, the gentleman that worked for Saks, was he able to enjoy all the work he had done? Because he said he had an amazing Social Security, almost too much in Social Security. Then unfortunately he passed away. Was he able to enjoy his retirement?
He was. He had been retired for a while, for a few years. So they had a good bit of savings, I'd say about 1.5 million of savings. So they had been retired for a bit. He had just been continuing to defer Social Security there. So, I mean, that's a benefit. He started it, and then it was just massive income, of course, and then he passed. But like I said, his widow, is enjoying that big benefit that her husband set up, for her, because she didn't work outside the house as much, right? So it is continuing for her, and hopefully, if she has longevity, then he's going to be smarter than all of us, you know.
Yeah. 843-890-2400, helping you build retirement strategies to sustain. And one more note here. There's a total of 678 ways to file Social Security.
Yes. 678.
I saw that note on your...
Yeah, and rules. There's 2,728 rules to keep in mind.
Jeez.
It's crazy. The code is like it's this massive, and they keep amending it and things. So yes, it's a tough one.
Helping you build retirement strategies that benefit both you and your family with the help of Brandon Bowen and the team at Bowen Wealth. Again, that number 843-890-2400, or always online at bowenwealth.com. And Brandon, there's been a lot of conversations about Social Security and the benefits being reduced in the next 8-10 years. What's the update on that? Or has there been an update? Is it still a conversation piece in Washington?
Yes, it's a conversation piece, is the first thing I want to say on that. I mean, I feel like, our national debt and things, we just keep adding on to it. I've been doing this over, about 16 years now. And I just, I can think back of like, okay, the national debt of where it's at, and there's no way we can't, but we just keep going higher and higher and higher. It's accelerating, this national debt.
We passed, $36 trillion a couple of weeks ago. Congratulations.
I know. So, and then Trump's, talking about, I want to, cut taxes on your Social Security benefits.
Yeah.
And, cut taxes here and here. And that sounds great, but they keep spending.
Right.
So I don't know how they're going to remedy, what the fix is going to be on there. But I would say all we can do is operate on what the current rules are.
Yeah. And have a plan and prepare right now for regardless.
Have a plan. Yes. I mentioned just a few minutes ago of how, like, you can go back to your spouse and show that you've put the puzzle piece together. I guess let's talk about that for a minute, is because, I procrastinate way too often.
Amen.
Right. If there's something that I don't have confidence in, or I'm not good at, I don't like being not good at something, so I'll just put it off, like I'm not going to change that light bulb until, or whatever it might be. I don't know. Or clean the garage. If there's, if there's something I was like,
I haven't filled my taxes in about 10 years just because I'm not good at it. I don't want to fill out the forms.
There you go.
I'm kidding, IRS. I'm kidding.
You and Hunter Biden, right?
Can I get a pardon from you, Brandon?
So, if you have felt like I'm going to just put this off here, like I'll get around to it, or let me encourage you, hey, no shame. I'm not going to bash you or whatever. Come in. I've had people come in with just the messiest accounts all over the place from previous employers. It's like your junk drawer. I just say, just bring in any accounts and stuff that's been orphaned all over the place, right? Mm-hmm. Bring it in. And I'll help you make sense of that. We'll start putting it in its proper place. Start putting that plan together so that because here's where I was going with that is inevitably once I clean out, say, a closet here in the house,
right,
or a drawer, I'm like, geez, look how much room is in here now.
Right.
Or like, I want to like show people, but you have so much pride and God, why did I wait so long before I, clean this thing up? It was whatever, so let's do this with your retirement plan. I mean, this is something that you have worked your whole life. We cannot mess this up. There's no do-overs. Okay. Just like Social Security, there's no do-overs once you file for this thing. So yes. So let's put this plan together right now. Here's the number again. Grab your phone, 843-890-2400. That's 843-890-2400.
Of course, you can make the phone call right now. You can also shoot them a text, or you can visit them online at bowenwealth.com. And we're talking about right now. Brandon, do you still have time on your calendar? I know it's a busy time of the year. We got parties. We thinking about the holidays, thinking about Christmas is going to be here in a couple of weeks. Do you still have time to meet with us before the end of the year, or are we looking towards early 2025?
There are still current appointments available there, but you might just want to go like, hey, let me just have a quick conversation with Brandon, because we could do that, a little 15-minute conversation. Our first appointments, they're 45 minutes when you come into the office, and it's just a lot of you're getting to know me, you're checking me out as well, right? I know that yes, that I'm trying to figure out what you've done and can we help, but you're also sizing us up too. So we could have this low stress meeting here before the holidays, or, let's go ahead and get on we come back out of the break, slammed.
Yeah.
It's January. We start first, second week of January. They fill up so quick, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd say, give us a call. Let's see what we have available. And then if it can't happen before the end of the year, then we'll jump on it here first of the year. And that'll be, you're going to be making a resolution, but you'll actually keep it this year.
That's right. And that resolution should be to call Brandon Bowen.
That's right.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.